You texted her, she read it. You could see the read receipt sitting there like a ticking clock. 2 hours, nothing, then 4, then a whole day passes, and suddenly you're not just waiting for a text. You're dissecting every conversation you've ever had with her, replaying that last time you were together, searching for the exact moment things shifted. Did I say something wrong? Was she pulling away before and I just didn't see it? Should I send a follow-up? Would that look desperate? Why do I always end up here? And then, because nobody ever taught you any different, you type something. Maybe you try to be funny. Maybe you try to keep it casual. Maybe you just say, hey. And the second you hit send, your stomach drops. Because somewhere deep down, you already know it's the wrong move. Here's the truth most men will never hear. She didn't go cold because of what you said. She went cold because of what she felt when she sensed you chasing. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're not doing this because something is wrong with you. You're doing this because nobody ever showed you what silence actually does to a woman who's pulling away. And that's what we're fixing today. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why chasing an avoidant destroys attraction, why silence is not giving up. It's actually your most powerful move, and how to use your calm, grounded presence to flip the entire dynamic without saying a single word. Let's get into it. The mindset reframe. Most guys believe that when a woman pulls away, the solution is more effort, more texting, more showing up, more proving how much you care, because that's what we're taught, right? That love is about pursuit, that if you just show her how much she means to you, she'll come back. But here's the real truth, and this goes deeper than any tip I could give you. Women don't respond to effort, they respond to energy. When you chase someone who's pulling away, she doesn't feel loved, she feels pressure. Her nervous system registers the energy of desperation, and I want you to hear that word clearly: desperation, not dedication. And the moment she senses that energy, something shifts in her gut. A wall goes up. Not because she's cold, not because she's cruel, but because on a deep, instinctive, almost primal level, her brain is saying, a man who is this available, this anxious, this needy for my response, does he actually have a life? Does he actually value himself? And here's the devastating irony. The more you chase, the less magnetic you become. The less you chase, the more she wonders. Silence isn't rejection. Silence is the most grounded, most magnetic thing a man can do when someone is testing whether he knows his own worth. That's the reframe. That's the entire foundation of this video. Now let's go through exactly how to live this out. Point 1. The chase kills. What the spark started. Here's the part nobody talks about. Most guys think attraction is something you build by doing more. More texting, more complimenting, more proving your value, and for a while, maybe it seems to work. But here's the psychological truth. Attraction is not built by addition, it's maintained by tension. And tension requires space. When you chase an avoidant, you collapse the space. You hand over all your energy and say, here, I need you to hold this for me. And the moment you do that, something in her shifts. She stops seeing a man she wants to pursue. She starts seeing a man who needs her reassurance, and that's where attraction quietly dies. Picture this. You message her something vulnerable, something real, and she takes 12 hours to respond with a one-liner. Most guys send 3 follow-ups. Did you see this? You okay? Just wanted to check in? The grounded man? He reads it. He might not even respond right away. He's got a life happening. And she's sitting there thinking, why didn't that faze him? That question, that confusion, is the spark being relit. When you stop chasing, she stops running. That's when the dynamic starts shifting in your favor. Point 2. Your silence is a statement. Most guys think silence means you've given up, that it looks like you don't care. But here's what changes everything. Silence is not the absence of communication. Silence is a full sentence. When you go quiet, not out of games, not out of manipulation, but out of genuine self-respect, you are communicating something that no text ever could. I'm okay without your validation. I know my worth, and I'm not performing for your approval. That is not nothing. That is everything. She sends a cold, one-word response. The average guy panics and doubles down. You seem off. Is something wrong? Did I do something? He turns a small moment of friction into a full emotional negotiation. The grounded man reads it, puts his phone down, and goes back to his day. He doesn't reward coldness with warmth. He doesn't fill silence with noise. And what happens inside her? Her brain registers something unfamiliar. She's used to men who scramble, and here's a man who didn't. Her gut is saying, something about him is different. That feeling? That's the beginning of real interest. Silence isn't passive, bro. It's presence in disguise. Point 3. Never explain, never justify. Grounded men don't audition. This is the one most guys completely miss. Most guys, when they sense a woman pulling away, immediately go into defense mode. They start explaining themselves. I just want you to know I wasn't trying to be weird the other night. Or, I feel like things got awkward and I just wanted to clear the air. And every single one of those messages is a form of auditioning. It's saying, please don't disqualify me. I need you to approve of me. Here's the deeper truth. Avoidant people are instinctively attracted to strength and repelled by emotional need. When you over-explain, you don't come across as thoughtful, you come across as anxious. And anxiety is not magnetic. The wrong move. Hey, I feel like you've been distant lately. I just want to make sure we're good. I didn't mean anything by what I said. The grounded move, say nothing. Or if you do say something, say it with full calm. I'm here when you're ready. 5 words, no begging, no explaining, no emotional invoice. And in her mind, she's replaying the conversation thinking, why isn't he chasing me? Most guys chase. That question is the hook. You don't need to audition for someone who is right for you. And if she needs you to beg, man, she's already told you everything. This isn't a tactic. This is just what a grounded man naturally does. Point 4. Let the distance reveal the truth. Here's where it gets really interesting. Most guys are so terrified of distance that they destroy it before it can do its job. Because here's what most men don't realize. Distance is not the problem. Distance is the diagnostic. When you pull back, when you stop chasing, you find out exactly what you're working with. If she reaches out, genuinely, warmly, with effort, that tells you something real. If she doesn't, that also tells you something real. And bro, that's not a loss. That's information. That's clarity. That's the universe doing you a favor. Most guys flood the silence with texts because silence forces them to confront a truth they're not ready for. Maybe she's not as invested as I thought, but the grounded man welcomes that truth. Because he'd rather know now than spend 3 months chasing someone who was never actually available. Not loud confidence, not fake confidence, not gym selfie confidence, but quiet, calm, I know what I deserve confidence. That's what lets you let the silence breathe. And here's the beautiful thing that often happens when you do. She reaches out. Not because you played a game, but because your absence reminded her of your presence. And she starts replaying everything, thinking, why do I keep thinking about him? Distance doesn't push the right people away. It pulls them back. Point 5. Become unavailable without becoming cold. Most guys think this is binary. Either you're warm, eager, and available, or you're cold, distant, and playing games. But here's the truth. Real magnetism lives in a third option most guys have never been shown. The grounded man is warm, but not anxious. Present, but not hovering. Interested, but not dependent. He has a life that doesn't pause for her uncertainty. He's not cold. He's not cruel. He's just complete. And that completeness is, honestly, the most attractive thing a man can embody. Here's the contrast. She cancels plans last minute. Most guys, oh, no worries. We can reschedule it whenever. I'm totally flexible. Energy. I was waiting for you and now I'm rearranging. Grounded man. No worries. I'll catch you another time. Then he genuinely goes and does something else. Energy. I have a life. You're welcome in it, but you're not the whole of it. She feels that. Instantly. Her gut says, he's not desperate. He's not bitter. He's just okay. And that okayness, that effortless self-possession, is emotional caffeine for her brain. It's addictive in ways that chasing never could be. This isn't about becoming cold, man. It's about becoming full. Point 6. Stop begging for attention. You already deserve. Most guys beg without ever realizing they're begging. It's not always, please don't leave me. Sometimes it looks like constantly initiating, always being the first to reach out, always checking if she's okay when she goes quiet, sending 3 messages before she responds to one. None of those feel like begging in the moment, but all of them carry the same underlying message. Your response is how I know I matter. And here's the brutal psychological truth. The more you signal that her attention is what makes you feel okay, the less she respects the attention she gives you. Because on a deep level, what we give easily to someone who's desperate for it starts to feel worthless to us. That's not her being evil. That's just human psychology. Not chasing doesn't mean not caring. It means caring about yourself enough to stop outsourcing your self-worth to someone who isn't even sure what they want. The right approach isn't, I'm going to make her chase me. The right approach is, I'm going to live my life so fully that her decision about whether to be part of it is genuinely her choice, and I'm genuinely okay either way. When you actually feel that, she senses it. And that feeling, the feeling that you don't need her validation to feel whole, is the exact thing that makes a woman want to give it to you freely. That's when interest turns into something real. Point 7. Your peace is the power move. Here's the final truth, and this one lands different. Most guys lose their peace trying to keep the girl. They sacrifice their sleep, their focus, their sense of self, obsessing over what she meant by that message, whether she's pulling away, what the right move is. And the brutal irony? That loss of peace is exactly what kills the attraction. Because women are deeply, instinctively attuned to the emotional state of the men around them. She can feel your anxiety even through a text. She senses when you're spiraling. But here's what she also senses, and this is the shift. She senses when a man is at peace, when he's not performing calmness, but genuinely in it. When no amount of her hot and cold behavior can shake his sense of who he is. That groundedness, bro, that unshakable, quiet, I'm okay in my own skin energy, is the single most magnetic thing a man can carry. Your peace is not passive. It's not giving up. It's not pretending you don't care. Your peace is the loudest statement you can make. It says, I know my worth. I don't need chaos to feel alive. And I'm not going to let your uncertainty become my emergency. And when she sees that, when she feels that, her brain says, this guy doesn't need me to validate him. And that is exactly when she starts wanting to. Your peace isn't the result of winning her back. Your peace is what makes her want to come back. Look, none of what I've shared today is about winning a game. It's not about tactics. It's not about getting the upper hand. It's about becoming the kind of man who is so settled inside himself that another person's inconsistency genuinely cannot shake him. When you internalize this, really internalize it, not just intellectually but in your bones, you stop performing, you stop chasing, you stop explaining, and something shifts, not just in how she sees you, in how you see yourself. These aren't tricks, this is just who you're becoming. And here's the one thing I want you to carry with you long after this video ends. The man who is at peace with losing her is the last man she wants to lose. If this hit differently than the dating advice you've heard before, that's intentional. Drop a comment below with the words silent if this video gave you something real. Subscribe if you're building yourself into someone who doesn't need a strategy, because he's already become the standard. And when you're ready to go even deeper, the next video is already waiting for you.